What's up, brother?
Can somebody explain what happens to the taxes whenever they decide to not sell it outright and go the seller finance route? They don't have to pay as much, or the taxes go away completely?
Yeah, so you're asking, do they have to pay taxes when they sell the property to us on turn?
Right, so like they'll pay capital gains if they sell the property, but if they go the seller finance route, what happens to the taxes? Are they just now paying earned income taxes on that?
Yeah, so they're still gonna pay taxes just in a different bracket. Since they're not selling it outright, they're not getting a gain tax. It's just a different bracket. And so they just pay the taxes on the monthly payments that they receive. Which
Okay.
is great because, you know, a gain tax it's fairly large. It's like upwards to like 37%. So you can imagine if you're making 100
Right.
grand profit, you're throwing away 30, 40 grand.
So on that last payment, on the balloon payment, is it still taxed as earned income, or does the balloon payment
No,
get
so on the
taxed as
balloon,
capital gains?
yeah, no, the balloon's still a gain. It's just that now the amount is less than the original purchase price, you know?
Okay, is there a
And then if you
threshold
like
that
it,
makes it?
if they like the avoiding or deferring the taxes, you can just renegotiate to continue to seller finance it or make payments to it, you know?
Gotcha. Okay, but what determines whether it's capital gains or earned income?
Well, when you're selling it from, you bought it for one price and then now you sold it outright for one other larger price. That's a gain because you're not making that monthly, you're not working for it. It's not passive income. It's a flip. It's more of a marketing.
So, but what if it was $100,000 house and you gave him 2 payments of 50,000? That wouldn't be considered earned income.
No, he would still pay. Yeah, he would still pay gains on them because they're large chunks. You know what I'm saying? Those are large gains right there at one time. So even if I didn't make, even if I structured it where I'm seller financing 200 grand and I structured it where I'm doing it for 10 years and in 5 years I'm paying you 100 and in the other 5 I'm paying you the other 100, you'd still be taxed like at the gain part because they're such large sums of money.
Yeah. Is there a threshold where it turns into capital gains, or it all depends?
I think when it's capital gains, it's just I'm not a CPA, so I don't know 100% this answer if it's going to be right or not. What I'm assuming or what I'm thinking is like, you know, when you sell it and you're not getting like an incremental payment, if you're getting a large sum, you're going to pay a large tax on it because it's a large sum at one time. That's how I'm seeing it. So I don't know exactly if it's in the bracket of the gains part, or if you're breaking it up in 3 or 4 fairly large balloon payments. I'm just seeing it as the larger the number, the larger the tax kind of thing. I'm not a CPA, right? I don't know exactly the answer. That's just my guesstimate.
Just like tax deferment is one of them, and I just wanted to kind of be able to explain it.
Yeah.
So that's good. I appreciate it, man.
Just tell them too, you know, at the same time, tell them, you know, this is what you've learned. You're not a CPA, so have them look it up. But, you know, you just give them with confidence, what you've learned from your experience or whatever.
Okay, good to go.
Yeah. Let's get Casey, you sent me something?
Yeah, I just sent you that lead. I think I sent it to you 5 days ago, and I think my folder or whatever. I don't even know. I don't know if you got it or not, but yeah, that's one of my direct leads. I just generated that like 5 days ago, apparently, and I got the guy to say he's open to anything profitable, open to creating a monthly payment for his kids. This is what I was talking about on Friday or whatever. One of them.
Okay.
So he said, he wanted to call back in a week or two. I told him I'd call him within the next week. I said, I don't got time to kick rocks around like that. If he wants to make a move, let's do it, you know?
Gotcha. His name's Willie?
Willie Evans, yes, sir. In Detroit too. So, I mean, it's a dope area to keep probably or flip easily. So whatever's clever, bro.
Is the house like trash or is a good home?
I probably should have made better notes, eh? Open the roof, needs some repairs, plumbing, needs roof repair, or roof is in good shape. Plumbing needs some repair. Flooring is in good shape. There's back taxes on it. He wouldn't mention how much. That was what my
You didn't
notes said.
mention how much,
My
huh?
VA. Huh?
You didn't want to mention the back taxes, you said?
That wasn't for me though. That was back July.
Okay.
We've been talking with this dude.
Let's take a look. See. I know a realtor that's a TTP student out there in Detroit. And Josh and I closed a deal with him earlier in the year.
Dude,
So I
Detroit
know
deals
he
are
can help
so
us out.
easy. Detroit deals are so easy to sell, bro. I sold 2 of them in like a month, but I'm not even really trying. You just got to get them at a good price, you know?
I got some multifamily apartment complexes that just got sent to me in Detroit.
That are direct though, like you're direct with the seller.
Yeah. Yeah, they're
Huh.
pretty, they need a lot of rehab though.
That's good.
Value
That's
add.
the right price.
I'll send
But most stuff in Detroit's like the ones we sold for 26K to a hedge fund, and we sold one for 34K, or 30K. We got it for 26. We had another offer at 34, but we sold it for 30. And
It's right in front of a school. That's good.
most of them were like 30, bro. Everybody wanted to be at like 25, 20K on the property. Somehow we got rid of it for 30. Like most stuff in Detroit's 15, 20, 25K.
Oh shit.
Even the good shit, bro. Unless it's selling on market, you know?
I'm gonna call 313-894-7.
But I've been noticing a lot lately, dude. Like I used to think there was this magic 50% ARV number and like 60% ARV.
Did he talk with you?
Huh?
Did this Willie guy talk to you?
Yeah. No, I talked to him in depth.
All right. We'll see.
About the he probably gets 100 calls a day though, you can imagine, but he said that he wants, or he's open to anything that's profitable, or is his exact word. Double call him if you have to. If he's in my leads for my VA, then that means he's getting a lot of calls from more than likely other
Please
people.
leave your message for.
I'm gonna call him again.
I would double tap him, yeah.
You left 2 numbers though.
No, that other number.
The 313 number was 7992 is the one I'm calling. You selling it for 30. I see a couple for like 120 something. I would buy it on terms.
Wait, now
And
you
wrap
can-
it. I'd put a little bit of money and then wrap it.
Please leave your message for.
Did you ignore it quickly?
Willie Evans.
Wheelie. Hey, what's up, Willie? This is Carlos. You had spoken with my associate, Casey, about selling the property, 2101 West Grand Boulevard City in Detroit. Go ahead and give me a call back when you have a chance, 760-902-7843. Thanks, Willie. All right, you put the notes in there or whatever and just remind me to call him.
Word. I'm gonna try to.
You went on mute, so I couldn't hear you. What's that, Josh? What's the 2740 Fullerton? Oh, 42 units. Hey, Josh, whose deal is that one? Josh. Look at me.
I think that was Josh.
Look at me, Josh. Whose deal is that one?
Dude, I didn't know I was muted. Dude, I was talking to you.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, look at me, because you're not.
No, my bad. I was trying to call him real quick.
No worries.
This dude, Kenneth Sykes. Some dude, realtor type guy.
Why don't we underwrite that on Friday with Stan?
All right, well, I got that one, and then he sent me another multifamily too that is I think they'll do the same. It's 26 units, 395. It needs a full rehab, but they'll do seller finance with 35 down too.
Dude, that's exciting.
Yeah. I mean, they need full rehabs, but they're cool looking buildings too. Like this other one.
Yeah, maybe we can do a little bit less money down because they need full rehabs, but we'll figure it out, right? Once we get on the phone with them. That's not hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stan and I'd be down to underwrite it. Then
All right.
yesterday, Stan and I had like a 45-minute underwriting session with another guy named Gabe. And he was super experienced. The way he set his shit up was totally different compared to how Stan and I have been doing it. You can just
Yeah.
tell this is way further than we are.
Yeah.
But I had asked them, I said, hey, if I were to bring you some deals that are in your criteria, 30, 40 plus units, and I came and negotiated them and worked them with you, would you show me how you underwrite them and we tackle them together? And he goes, oh, absolutely. I'm like,
Nice.
perfect. Cash or creative? Yeah, both. I said, all right.
Hey, dude, I didn't tell you about that. Did I tell you about the guy that was on the creative offer where he said he would only do it if he could get it signed in blood, and if you would put up the your firstborn child as
First
collateral?
onboard child.
Did you see
That's
that
solid.
shit?
I would have
No.
done it. No.
Dude, yeah, he literally put at the end of his thing, I'll send it to you guys. He said that he would be willing to work the deal, like he wants 700K for it, but he'd be willing to work the deal to where they could just pay off the mortgage of 500 and give him 100 grand cash and 100 grand later, but only if they signed in blood with their firstborn child as collateral. And like the guy ended up hanging up on me because
As collateral.
I told him he was crazy out of his mind, and then I read the bottom of, he had like this whole presentation that he packaged it up pretty well with for an owner, and I read the bottom of that and I messaged him back and I was like, you know what? After he hung up on me, I was like, you know what, man? After reading your document further, I'm down to do the deal, but only if it's actually signed in blood, and I can't give you my firstborn child. It'll have to be my secondborn because we already lost the first one in another bad deal.
Nice.
And he
Lost
called
the
me back
first one,
right
didn't
away.
go
He loved
right.
it. He loved it and called me back right away. He's like, I think we could probably make a deal happen. And this dude was a negotiator for like the MLB and NFL. I guess he was the first person to ever do a contract where the player can get out of their contract, basically, to where it's called an opt-out agreement, to where they're allowed to opt out of their contract if they want to.
Right. They probably just take
And then just lose the remaining whatever they would have made.
I don't know. He
After it's
probably a
negotiates.
penalty.
He's the guy.
Yeah,
He's the guy that negotiates that shit
Well,
for
he's
them.
cool. That was a good move for the safety and the well-being of the actual players. Very cool for
Super
them.
creative though.
They're like,
you
fuck this
probably
team,
love
I'm
talking to
leaving.
this guy. We should call him right now and see what he's trying to do.
Yeah, okay. Let's call some more bees or fucking. You guys want me to run a role play? With somebody?
I'm down with whatever.
Yeah, let's do some role. I like the role play. Tomorrow we'll do more of the seller calls. I'll line them all up. I mean, I have a lot. It's gonna take like 10 minutes.
Yeah, no,
right,
let's
for
line up a
calling.
bunch of leads to call tomorrow. We could all do that.
Yeah,
If we all did.
I'll post where I'll call your guys' leads. So just DM me the lead and number and we'll do that.
Why don't we all just try to figure out like 5-10 leads that we could call, or 5 or something?
Yeah,
and
at
then
least 3 to 4. We'll call
3 to 4, yeah, and we'll just get them all together
I'll
tomorrow.
close
and
as
knock them
many
out.
as possible in a row.
We'll just DM them to you right
Live.
before the meeting or whatever.
Yeah. So let's do this.
Yeah, I
Let's do
can go
some
through
role
my
play.
CRM.
Let's do some role play so we bring some value. Because what if we run into just very minimal sellers today on the seller call? I'd rather bring some value today and come prepared tomorrow. Let's do it. So I'll be an end buyer because I like doing it. Who wants to be my seller? Look at Lauren. Look who's here.
Hey.
I did this for you, Lauren, so we could do this at 6 p.m. your time, you know?
I know. What you guys
Okay.
talking about?
Nothing. We were doing some live calls right now, and then I just decided that we'll repost tomorrow. We'll do live calls, and we'll
Mhm.
just have people bring 3-4 leads a piece that they want me to call. I'll call
Oh,
them live,
cool.
and
What?
then maybe we can have some other people jump in and call the leads live.
Yeah, that's
But we'll
dope.
decide to go regular role play today, so we could bring some value for the remaining hour and a half or whatever.
Awesome. Well, because of you, I'm so busy. I have like so many calls.
Yep.
People are just calling me left and right. So I've been pretty busy just catching up with everybody.
It's simple, right? Once you copy and paste things, it's
Yeah,
simple. Mhm.
definitely.
Do it repetitively over time. You think that you're busy now. Do it repetitively over time, over like good time, 60, 90 days, and then tell me how overwhelmed you are. I've been doing this for like 5 months.
I'm surprised you don't have an assistant yet.
Oh, dude, trust me. Once I have the cash flowing from all the houses I have now, dude, for sure, I'm going to automate every single thing.
Yeah,
It's going to be
definitely.
like the guy who just creates the vision and closes deals.
Gonna be like, are we
For the
talking
hardest
about
deals,
Carlos?
I'd rather automate my business and pay an acquisitions manager to do all the little things, all the closings and stuff.
Awesome. Definitely. People aren't gonna know if they're talking to you or talking to your assistants.
Yeah, I got an opportunity with Brad yesterday for like the near future, like end of the year type of thing. Wants to show me how to invest in oil and stuff. So I was like, fuck yeah, let's run as many deals as we can. So I bring up capital and we just invest.
Oh yeah,
I'm excited for that one.
that's a goal.
Yeah.
What's everybody been up to in here?
Literally just that. We were just kind of just bullshitting, talking, and probably wasting time more than bringing value to anybody, any
Well,
of you.
an accountability call period is good, no matter if it's role play or what. It's good to
Yeah.
just meet up with everybody.
We were
I
talking.
like how she sees the glass half full.
Yeah.
Yeah. Always.
Hey, I got
Yeah.
a question, Carlos. All right, so say I get a deal from someone, it ends up being a seller finance. Now how they have an assignment fee, how are we paying that assignment fee with like a lender or how do they get paid?
Yeah, absolutely. So your own money, a lender, or if your end goal is to wrap it and you have enough time to get photos and start marketing it, you can just assign the wrap to the end buyer. So then they just pay the difference and you're the note holder in between the first note, the second note. And then now you're just cash flowing. So the difference on a wrap is you don't own the property anymore. You're not on title. You're reselling it to somebody else. So you hold a note, you get cash flow. There's no liability. You don't have to like take care of the home or whatever.
Right.
Holding the note's pretty cool. It turns deals that I don't really see on sub-2 or seller finance to a deal when you turn it to a wrap. And I believe that I think when I was studying a little bit, I think that on the wraps you can charge I think 10 or 20 grand more than the ARV price, and I think 100 to 200 bucks more, maybe a little bit more per month on the mortgage or the rental income, because it is seller finance. And so you can just hold the note in cash flow instead of not making any money. Might as well pick up 10 grand, 20 grand, 30 grand and let it cash flow. And even if you have like a small amount, 10 or 20 grand, but you have like 6% interest on that, I mean, you're going to make way more than 10 or 20 grand over a 5-year term. You'll make
Right.
so much more money.
Yeah.
It's always cool. I know Christian Hernandez does a lot of wraps, and Brad, that's all he specializes in wraps.
Right.
And then exiting the wrap. A lot of people don't know that part, but yeah, exiting the wraps.
By selling the note.
Yeah, so no, there you go.
Yeah, because this guy was asking me, he's like, well, how I'm looking for, it's that one that has a 35K down payment or for the seller finance. And he said he wanted a 10K assignment fee and he was wondering how he would get that.
Yeah, you can tell him kiss my ass first off.
Yeah, I was like,
Tell him look at the deal you're bringing me. Tell him
Yeah.
you want a fat fee. You bring me a deal, 0%, lowest money down, a home that isn't beat up, and I'll pay you 10, 15, 20 grand.
yeah, I'm
But if
thinking
you come and bring me a property that you want me to give you $30,000 down, half the price, then put in 30 to 35. Now I'm over the asking price. get that from the lender, and then you want me to pay you 10 grand before closing costs or my profit?
Not a
See
deal.
how they don't care for anybody else but themselves?
Yeah.
Well, see, that's why I don't think,
That's why you invite that motherfucker into the powerhouse, so we can show him how to close, and we buy it up. Really, like,
I told
bring
him,
him in. Yeah,
I told him about it. I'm getting them in there.
yeah. Let's do this. Let's get a role play in. I'll go ahead and be the end buyer. Somebody want to be the seller? Lauren, how you doing? You want to be the seller?
I knew you were gonna say my name. Okay.
Yeah,
The seller. Okay, I'll be the seller. That's easy.
it is easy. Yes. So
Awesome.
we're gonna do this. ARV, $300,000 ARV.
Mhm.
It's gonna be a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 1,500 square feet. I don't need to bring it up. It's just if I decide to bring it up, that's just so we already know. So none of us are confused.
Okay. You said ARV 300 and how much in repairs?
That don't matter. That's where you're gonna make it up.
Okay.
You let me know. We'll just direct it whatever. If we want to go cash or creative, we'll just flow into it, and we'll just use our names. Okay,
Okay, cool.
cool. Ring ring.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, Lauren? This is Carlos. How you doing?
Hi, who's this?
Carlos. How's your day going?
It's going good. Do I know you?
No, you don't know me. Here, let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Carlos. I'm sorry that I'm giving you a phone call. We don't know each other yet, so let me introduce myself. What I do for work is I purchase properties for a couple of other reasons as far as investments. And I just wanted to ask you, I was looking at this property. It's 123 ABC Street, and I just wanted to ask you if you were ever consider selling it.
Yeah, actually, I actually am.
Okay, I'm bringing it up right now on my laptop. I'm just curious why I'm bringing it up. What's got you considering selling the house?
Well, my grandmom's sick, so I had to go take care of her, and I need to in the next about 30 days.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. You broke up just a little bit. I heard the grandma's sick, and then you cut out, and I heard 30 days.
Oh yes, my grandmother's sick, so I'm going to Michigan to take care of her. So I need to move within about 30 days.
Gotcha. So I'm understanding your time frame to sell is pretty urgent, 30 days, and grandma is not feeling too well. Is that right?
Yeah.
Gotcha. So that's basically the main reason you're selling this, right?
Yes, that's pretty much the only reason because I love the house.
Nice. Okay. And so I just want to make sure I have the right information on the property. Is this a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom?
Yes.
And it's 1,500 square feet?
Yep. About 14.
Okay. And then I just wanted to ask a little bit about the condition of the property. Have you renovated the interior or exterior in the last 5 years?
Yeah, actually, well, the house is pretty new. It was built in 2010, so I haven't done any updates, but it's pretty good condition.
Got you. So you've kept it fairly clean, like you maintained it well. Doesn't sound like it
Yes.
needs repairs, but since 2010, it has all the original, it's in original condition and fixing, correct?
Yes.
Got you. Okay. So then just like cosmetic work to lift up like kitchen
Yeah.
to catch it
I
up to
would say
speed.
I would say just change the paint and, just the flooring, you might want to change it. Just little
Okay.
things.
Okay, and then the plumbing, the electrical work, all that should be pretty good, right?
Yep, everything's good.
Got you. Okay, so it doesn't sound like too much of a crazy job. So if I was able to, help you out so you can get to your grandma less than 30 days and purchase this home, would that really help you out?
Definitely. I mean, if the price is good, of course.
I totally understand. So what type of price are you looking to get on this property, knowing that I might have to put a little bit of work into it?
Well, I wanted to get a new house in Michigan, so I wanted to, take a cash offer. My house is worth about 300.
Mhm.
So I wanted to spend that money and just go to Detroit, Michigan and get a new house.
Got you. Okay. So your house worth around 300,000. You're trying to use that money and purchase a new home. Are you looking to buy your house out there in Michigan cash or just put some money down on it?
Probably just put some money down, a good amount. So my mortgage and interest and everything's pretty low. my payments would be kind of low. So I wanted to put a significant amount down on the house.
Got you. Okay. And then so what number did you say? I didn't catch a number. What number are you cool with accepting on this property?
Well, 300's the air. Well, I looked up the house on Zillow and it says it's worth about 300.
Okay.
So I figured that's what I want.
You know what? I'm looking at properties online and I do see the ARVs around 300. And it's pretty much the same build out as yours in the same neighborhoods. So I agree right there, 300 is around the ARV. But the only difference is when I look at the photos on this one compared to yours, knowing yours is original condition since 2010, these ones look very nice. And so it's more like I can't compare an apple to an apple because your home isn't an apple. It's more like I'm comparing an apple to an orange. Yours is a little bit different. It looks the same on the outside and the configuration is the same on the inside. The only difference is the material that's done to upgrade the
My
ones.
house is beautiful. It's one of the biggest houses on the block. So people have always come, offering me at least 300. So I would say I don't want to take lower than that.
Okay, I'm curious, why didn't you take those great offers at 300?
Because at the time my grandmother wasn't sick, so I wasn't, pressed to move and I didn't need to sell.
Got you. I totally hear you. So because your grandma is sick, that's the only reason. That's why I remember you saying that you wouldn't have moved if grandma didn't get sick. Okay. So I analyze deals throughout the week, right? As an investor, I always look to purchase properties, but unfortunately, I can't purchase every property I look at for the fact that it might not make financial sense for me. So I may or may not be your end buyer here, but just wanted to show you how I purchase properties, how my business model works, right? Because I do purchase properties cash. It's a lot easier for me. And I'm pretty sure for the homeowner, it's easier for them to get cash. But how I look at it as an investor, since I'm not the homeowner living in that actual home, for me to buy it cash, I would need it to be in a condition similar to yours, like in the as is, where I can put money into it and flip it for a profit. In this scenario, there is a condition that I can purchase it and it's totally fine. I could make money with it. It's the price that you're giving me that's not allowing me to make money. Where I would need to be is I need to be at a property like yours, but I need to be a little bit under market price so that I can put money into it and flip it for a profit. Where I need to be on a cash offer would have to be a lot closer to the twos. Is that something that would work for you? I understand you need 3, but is that something that would work for you?
No, you might as well just hang up now.
Oh, no, we're not done yet. I'm just giving you an example. That's where I need to be. Remember, I said I like to buy cash, but in a scenario where it doesn't work for me cash, I'll bring it back up right now. What's the farthest number from 200? What's the number close to that you can sell me your house at?
I probably wouldn't go any lower than 280.
Okay, so let's say 280, and then what are you looking to net, right? Like take home after all the fees.
That's what I want to take home.
280?
Yes, because
Okay.
I said my house is worth 300 and the houses on the block are selling for over 300. So I figured that I should be able to get at least that. And it's not, you don't have to come in and do any work. So
I get you. You know what? Your best bet on this, because I'll tell you right now, I'm not going to be your end buyer cash, at least at 280 or 300 or 250 or 240. I'm not going to be able to afford that. It won't make sense for me. Have you ever thought about just listing it so you can get homeowners who want to move into it to pay you that price?
well, I don't really have time for that. Like I said, I have to move within 30 days. So I know that it could take maybe, at least that to get some interest sometime. So I don't want to just have it on the market waiting on that. I want to make sure that I can go where I need to go, at the time frame.
Got you. And I totally understand that as well. I know that realtors might have you put a little bit of money to clean it, have random people come in throughout the week, disturb
Exactly.
you, all these things. I totally get it. So cash doesn't work for me or you on that. And then real estate agents, they're really not going to help you out in between the time frame you need to sell. Let me ask you this. Why don't you maybe just put a little bit of money, clean it up, paint it, and then just rent it out?
I mean, that could be an option, but I don't want to be a landlord. So I'm just a homeowner. This is my only house. So, I'm not looking to be in a business of being a landlord, especially now that I'm going to be taking care of my grandmother. I don't want to have another responsibility.
Got you. So what if I was able to help you out and pay 280, and instead of being a landlord, I upgraded you into the bank and you sold me the home on terms?
What are terms?
It's fairly simple. Like if you have a car payment or a mortgage payment, it's the same thing. Come to an agreement on a price. I make a payment to you over a set agreed length, like that. If I was able to, and here's how you can see how I'm going to make money. And I just explained that if I buy it cash, the numbers I need to be at so I can profit. Well, that's not going to work on that one. So if I can come up and pay a lot more, I'm most likely going to need to make money in that passive income, right? In between
Yeah.
what you're charging me per month and what I can then rent this out for maximum. And
Yeah.
so how I make money is right there. And that's allowing me to pay you more because now I'm looking at it as a cash flowing business instead of a fix and flip.
Oh, that's cool. How often do you do deals like that?
All the time. I'm doing nationwide. I sit back pretty at my home office in Palm Springs, learn how to do this virtually. So it's very simple. I buy nationwide and I get allocated funds. So I use other people's money to buy homes like this. And it's allowed me to become a lot stronger and purchase more properties. At the same time, I help homeowners in scenarios where somebody who only buys cash can't pay the actual price that they need to move on to the next chapter. I can
Mhm.
come and do that. I can come and pay more than most people. And all it is I just got to make some money in between the monthly cash flow.
But what happens when you don't pay?
That's a good question. That should be the number one question every seller has, and some forget to ask that, but great question, right? Let's say in a scenario where we come to an agreement at the number you want. Maybe I gave you a little bit of money down. I don't know, whatever the number is. I gave you some money down, make this monthly payment to you over a set period of time. So let's go 6-7 months down the road. You've taken the money I've given you. I've made each payment over the last 6-7 months. And I don't know, I get picked up by aliens, get hit by a car, something crazy, right? Happens to me. In that scenario, now that I'm thinking about it, it would actually be my worst case scenario. It would be a better case for you. And here's the reason why. Because at that time, I would have paid you some money down. You'd keep that. I would have then put money into it to upgrade it from its original condition to 22 standard condition. And I would have it cash flowing the max I can get for it. And
Hmm.
so you would not only keep that money, but you would have the home in a nicer condition that you can keep cash flowing or sell it for more than you would actually get for it in the as is condition. And you see that how it would ruin my end. It would be more of a worst case for me, best case for you. But that's why I underwrite the deal before I perform on it. That's why I want to get the numbers right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'd be protected because you'd be working with us, turning into the bank, right? You're the lender, I'm the borrower here.
Well, how much did you give me down?
How much money do you need to move forward?
Well, like I said, I just want to be able to put something down on as long as I can get in this new house and put a good amount down and, make my move within 30 days. I'm not sure. I don't know a number. What do you typically pay down?
Remember how I said I get allocated funds throughout the month, so I use other people's money to buy homes?
Mhm.
So I look at homes, and typically when I can come up to the asking price, the other investors can't pay the homeowner. If I'm able to incentivize that homeowner and pay them more, they're willing to accept a lot less down because I'm paying a lot more upfront on that purchase price. And so typically I give down 5 or 10 grand, and that's how I'm able to buy, 10 to 15
That
million.
wouldn't work for me.
What does work for you? That's why I'd like to know what terms work for you, because who is Carlos Reese to dictate what works in Lauren's house, right?
Yeah. I would
And
need at
typically
least
when you go into a
50 down.
bank, like if you've ever financed a home or a car, typically they tell you how much money you're going to give them down, what's your payment, over how long you're going to make those payments. So I'd actually like it if maybe you kind of set me up with a little term. And if it works with me, I'll go with it. And if not, I'll just slightly counter the numbers so that we can come to an agreement here.
Well, from 300, I would probably want at least 50,000 down.
Got you. We're at 280, I believe.
Yeah, 280. Okay, so at least 50,000 down. Because I just be able to get in that house comfortably and put my down payment and everything else that comes along with it.
What's the price of the home that you're looking at?
It's in the 200s, maybe like 250.
Got you, 250. So you're expecting what, 20% down? Is that how the 50 grand came up?
Yeah.
Hmm. How long are you willing to give me the length on the house for?
Well, I mean, I don't have any ailments, thank God. So, I mean, hopefully I have time. So issue that the time is not really the issue. So how long do you typically hold the note for?
Typically, when I'm paying more like this and then giving a larger sum down, it all matters on all the numbers. That's why I wanted to ask. When it's in a scenario like this where I'm overpaying the as-is condition and giving a larger sum down, that to me makes sense. I typically go 10 plus years.
Okay, well, that might be able to work.
Okay. And then what do you owe a mortgage on it right now? And if you do, what's your monthly payment to that?
Well, I only owe about 20,000 left on it.
Okay.
And monthly payment is about 600 right now.
600. What's the rental rate out there?
It could go to about 12 to 15. Well, that was months ago. Now it could probably go between 15 and 18.
All right, so let's just leave it at like 16 to be conservative. So
Yeah.
16. So this is where I'm at, right? Remember, since I'm going to pay you and I use other people's money to fund my own deals, most likely I have to give them a return on their money as well in a payment form. So if I'm at $600 on your mortgage, there's only 20 grand left, right? So if I'm on that payment of $600, I still owe you $260,000 in equity. I got to make a payment to you right there. So right now there's about $1,000 in cash flow that's left over, and I just need to make some money. Are you willing to split that with me?
Sure. Just I guess so. It just depends on the numbers.
Well, yeah, no, I'm trying to work with your numbers first, right? I don't want to dictate what's going to work with me first. So I'm going off of your 280 with 50 grand down, 10 years, taking over your $600 payment, giving you 500 to your equity. That's $1,100. And then I'm making my money by taking the other 500 to make the $1,600 rental income.
Okay. That sounds pretty good. I would just need to talk to my husband about that. But sounds pretty good. Can I get that in writing? Is there a way you can email me this over?
Yeah, I definitely can. Is your husband available?
He's actually at work. He's on his way now.
Got you. What's your spouse's name?
Sean.
You know, like just like my spouse, right? Like we know each other very well. You know, like if I go to the store and I see something that my spouse likes, I know that if I get it, she'll like it because I know her, and vice versa. She'll go to the store and come back with things that she knows I like. And so if you truly think that these numbers are going to work for you and him, I think that we're going to be fine. I think that he's going to agree with you since you guys are together, and I'm pretty sure you know him fairly well.
Yeah, I mean, you can send me over the email, and I guess you could even send me over a contract, and then we could look at it together, and then I'll talk about it, and then if everything's good, we'll just sign it.
Great, that sounds good. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll email you over. I'll give you a call. You can run it over with Sean, and then if you'd like, we can review it together and sign together.
Awesome. Thank you.
Lauren, thank you. Bye.
Bye. I know you need water after that. It was a long call.
They go like this all the time. They're like hour calls. Like yesterday, I couldn't get anything done because I had like 4 calls that were all hour and a half. I mean, I got like 2 verbal agreements out of them. I'm drafting the contracts today.
Wow. Yeah, they do go pretty long.
Yeah.
I guess Josh got to hear a creative kind of how difficult it could be.
Yeah. Does anybody have any questions for me? Q&A, things that I could have said, I could have improved on. Remember, I'm fairly new, still learning, educating myself while we educate others. Any feedback?
It sounded good to me.
Thank you.
Ben must be on the phone.
Does anybody else have any questions for me?
I'm
Is
listening.
there a recording that I could go back and listen to these calls? I forget if you started that or not.
Yeah, Josh, we recorded this, right?
Yeah, it's recording.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, sweet.
Yep.
Okay, it'll be on YouTube. Okay, your channel?
My
Yeah,
YouTube channel, yeah.
Carlos's.
We're gonna post it in the Powerhouse as well.
Hey, how's it going? Josh, Julian here. I know we
Hey,
just
Julian.
on Facebook. How's it going? So I am kind of newish to wholesaling. I've been doing it for about 3 months. I've actually done, is it 3 deals so far? So picking up some momentum. I guess with me personally, just self-reflecting, I'm really good at qualifying, really good at following up, really good at talking with people. It's just sometimes when it comes to the close, I feel like I could be better. And I'm just trying to figure out what's the best way besides just doing it more to get better at the close. Because I know that's obviously where you make the money is close.
Yeah, well, you showed up here with Carlos, so you're in the right spot. Thanks for showing up, dude.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, to answer that, Julian, it goes like this, like once you learn how to do what you do, it means you can do it, but there's 1,000 ways to skin a cat, right?
Exactly.
There are other ways worse than your way, and there are other ways better than your way to close. And so you can be at a level that you're currently at and continue to close the leads that can be closed at the skill level that you have. And if you want to improve your closing skills, you then just put yourself in proximity with others who are closing at a higher level. And from there, not only listening to it, but then practicing in these role plays and trying to utilize what you just learned, you implement that, and then you repeat that action, and that's how you're going to improve. Because
Gotcha.
you can still get it done, right? Like it's like a sports or stuff. Or maybe you've seen people in the gym, maybe like a year straight. And there are
Yeah.
some people who just go just to get by, like just to stay in shape. And then there's some that actually go in there, lose a whole bunch of weight, then get really fit.
Yeah.
Same thing. It's just depends. Same thing right here. What's your goal? If you're only trying to be as good as you are, then you can stay there. But if you want to be really good, you're then gonna be progressful and onto this journey. You got to progress your skills.
Oh, for sure. So I was actually talking with Josh. So I actually have a deal that I pretty much have a verbal agreement on. He wants to do it, but I have to go back and renegotiate. So basically right now, it's in like Dayton, Ohio. The seller wants 70,000. Offered him seller financing, but he wanted $35,000 down, 50%, which is really
Okay.
high.
How much
I'm also
percent?
kind of, what was that?
Did he say, you said a interest rate or a percent rate or no?
Yeah, I said it at 8%.
Well, 8%. Yeah.
Amortized over 30 years and then a 5-year balloon payment, but he wants like half down. And I know tomorrow we're gonna have pictures of stuff and I'm gonna have to renegotiate with them. But how do I go about getting him to see the value on coming down on his down payment? Because I don't want to lose the deal, but at the same time, like at 35,000, it's gonna be really hard to make it work.
Yeah. And it's not really about losing the deal. It's making sure you have a deal that you're working, right? You truly don't know if this is already a dead deal. And here's the thing, right? When you're doing terms, same thing with wholesaling. You can get a deal, people can lock up a deal, and a lot of us find out when we try to help them dispo that it's not a deal.
Yep.
Same thing here. You get somebody that's open to terms, but totally gives you shitty terms and it doesn't work. So one thing is we learn to negotiate. So we're not completely like order takers. Like we work at McDonald's. Can you put cheese on that burger for me? Yes, sir. Like we don't just do that, right? We like how I worked with Lauren and how I was like, hey, I want to cater to you kind of first. She didn't give me that bad of a term. She gave me 10 years. We didn't bring up any interest. So I got 0% interest, $50,000 down over 10 years. I have a strategy that I can do to pay my lender back. That works for me. But if she now asked me for something ridiculous, then I would have to really negotiate it to see how it's going to make sense. And if not, I would just end the deal. In your case scenario, you want 70 grand purchase price, ARV of $100,000. The house is fucked up, needs a whole bunch of work. It's small though, so even at like $50 or $60 a square foot, it's like 30 to 40 grand, and that's what you'll need. So let's say you buy it at 70, you put 30 or 40 grand. Now you're at over 100. So now you don't make any money on the front end. It's obviously not a fix and flip, but for a buy and hold, right? You not only pay 35, you're getting that borrowed. Then you got to borrow 30, 40,000 for the renovation. Now I'm borrowing 70 grand. Then I got to pay the wholesaler, the closing costs, than the realtor once I list it. If I was gonna fix and flip it, if I was gonna keep it, how am I gonna cash flow? If I have to make a payment to them, then I just borrowed all this money, 70, 80 grand. I gotta make a payment to them, or yeah, I have to make a payment to them because I can't fix and flip it for 110 when it's worth 100 after being repaired. So how can I exit and pay my lender if I don't have my money? If I can't fix
Exactly.
it, but I can't pay him back. And if I'm only making $200-300 over 5 years, does that even accumulate to 50 grand or 60 grand for the lender, let alone my profit, my war chest to save and things like that? So this could just be a fairly crappy deal. Now, if we get it like little to no money down to him, then you still factor a fee. It just depends, right? Like the goal would be, I would probably put a little bit of money into it, maybe 20 grand. So it's just nice and livable and not like the most nicest things possible.
Yep.
And then maybe wrapping it. So then it would be, maybe we can negotiate the purchase price down 10 grand or something. Maybe we can give him 10 grand down. I don't even want those numbers. Like where I want to be on money down is like 10% of the purchase price. If I have to do all the other fees, I want to be 20-25% of the purchase price. If all fees are included, which is, it's going to be the money down to the seller. If there's any arrears or late payments, there's a commission to a realtor or a wholesaler, there's closing costs, there's repair costs, then there's holding costs. How many months is this going to be in the repair mode? And how many months of rent do I have to pay? So I have to accumulate 3-4 months of that. But then if it doesn't sell in that time frame, if I'm going to flip it or we're going to cash flow, you have to, that's your consideration of the holding costs. You're doing an Airbnb, you have a furnishing cost. And then you have a marketing cost if I'm going to use Craigslist or Facebook or something to find a homeowner or a tenant.
And I think for me too, like I'm fairly new to like the creative financing aspects. I think part of it too is like just knowing, yeah, you can offer more money with creative financing, but it still has to be a good deal. So like, how do you calculate to know if it's still a good deal or not, I guess?
Like same thing, you still want to have comps, right? So you always want to see if you're going to gain, equity on the front of the deal. The whole name of the game in creative finance is we can pay that market price as long as we can cash flow. But just think about this, just remember this. The more you're going to pay, make sure there's less shit to do to the house.
Yeah.
Right? It makes no sense. Hey, look it, I don't mind giving you more than everybody else is giving you, but then your house is so effed up. I got to put so much money into it. And then you're asking me for so much money down and then high interest. Where do I make money in this, sir? You have to be transparent. A lot of it's a brainstorm. I was telling somebody earlier, a lot of it is brainstorming with the seller. So you don't know what's going to go on. At the same time, those numbers off the bat aren't going to work for you, the ones they're given to you. Let's say he wanted 50 grand or 70 grand. His house was turnkey ready. So that means I don't have to put 30 grand. So if I buy it for 70, and even if I gave him a little bit of money down and gave you money down, that money down would be on top of that sales price to me. So let's say it was 5 grand, right? 75,000. Well, I still copped $25,000 on the equity because it's worth 100 grand. And I don't have to put money into it because it's turnkey. I would come up higher on that purchase price because I don't got to put money into it. Now, for me to still pay and then put a lot of money and then have a ridiculous interest rate, I'm not a homeowner that's going to go in there and live there. At 8%, he's done. The deal's dead. There's no way. The rate is 7.5 and up. There's no way for you to make money at 8%. Especially, check this out, when you do an amortized schedule.
Yeah.
First 15 years are basically mainly interest payments.
Yep.
We got 5 years, so ours are only going to be mainly interest payments at 8% of 70,000, or finance 35, whatever whatever we come to agreement with on money down. I don't think it's going to cash flow crazy for us after paying a lender, after paying him, paying ourselves, keeping money to save just in case on a rainy day if something happens to the house.
So what interest rates do you offer? Because I always thought that you offer slightly above market value, or is that not the case?
Hell no. You check this out. If you buy a home at 4 or 5% interest rate, let's say your house is 300,000, over 30 years, you're paying like 700 to 800 grand. So you can imagine 9% on a $300,000 home. Paying
Exactly.
you're probably like $1 million for the home.
Probably like
So
below 5.
here's some skill for you when you talk to homeowners. And for the practice reason, I told Lauren, hey, some money down. It was just to get that in there. I typically don't ever say money down or interest anymore. That's why if you heard me, yeah, some payments over time, a set number over a length. I don't ever try to bring up, yeah, some money down with interest payments over time. So first start pitching it that way and you start rolling that out.
So that would be like cash on cash, right?
What's up?
That payment, just payments over time, no interest or anything. That's just cash on cash then.
You just want to, yeah, payments over time.
Because then how do you determine that number? Is that just like a set number then that you both agree on just paying per month? If there's no interest?
No, so one way you do it is, hey, you have your homework to do, right? As you have to think as the end buyer, even if you're being a creative finance wholesaler, you have to think the best case scenario for the end buyer.
Yeah.
And yeah, what's the question again? Shit, I went blank.
Yeah, me too just now. So if you don't have an interest into it, then how do you determine what the payments are?
Oh yeah, fuck the interest. Either you take over their mortgage interest and that's it, or don't ever bring it up, right? Here's a scenario where they're like, let me get 3 or 4% interest on that. Pace has showed me how to do it where I'm like, oh man, the interest, it just really messes up my cash flow. What if I prepay that on the front end of the purchase price? What if I gave you $80,000 instead of 70,000? Because here's the thing, I'm working a deal with Samuel right now, and working a duplex. The homeowner wants 150 grand. It's giving me 10 years to pay it off. He wants 3.5% interest rate, and he wants 20% down. I can't do the 20% down because it needs a renovation. So my counter is going to come in, and I'm going to try to give him 10%, $15,000 down. So I'm going to finance 135. The duplex is cash flowing $1,200 a month right now. It's free and clear. It's seller finance. $1,200 a month right now. He says that it can get around $1,500 a month. So I can see it the cash flow right now as is $600 a month. When I do the 3.5% interest rate amortized over 10 years, I pay him like $55,000, $60,000 just interest. So over 10 years, I owe him $110,000, but I paid him 60 grand in interest and like 10, 15 grand in principal. So would it be cool? What if I said, hey, instead of 3.5% around the numbers, the interest doesn't make sense to me, it doesn't cash flow the way I want to. What if I just gave you 170,000 instead of 150?
And you just financing the pool 170?
Yeah, because if I just explained it, if I was financing 135, I wasn't even financing 150, I'd given him money down. At 135, financed at 3.5% over 10 years, I paid him 200 grand. So I got to pay 135 plus 60, and I already gave him $15,000 down. So in reality, I'm paying him like 215 grand for a home that I'm financing 135,000. I would rather say, hey, I'll give you 20, 30 grand up front on that price so I can save 20, 30 grand on the back. And it's pretty advanced. You'll learn it as you go and stuff.
Yeah.
We'll do a lot more of these Q&As, but it's good to have that many questions because you're thinking the way you need to think. What's next? What's next? How do I do that? Those are good questions to have.
Yeah, because I mean, if you do the 170, that makes sense. But it's like, what would the monthly payments for that be? Like, there's no interest.
Same thing. So it comes down to, hey, Mr. Seller, for me to pay you that much money, I just need a cash flow, man. Like some people already start doing the numbers. And what if I did that? Hey, what are you willing to take from me? Or with Lauren, I said, cool, there's $1,000 left. Let's split that. Instead of me saying, are you cool with, me having $200-300? No, let's split that. Let me get 500. 500 is good. It's good to get. I want at least $400 or $500 minimum. So it's like when there's a scenario where there's like $600, I'm gonna try to get 4. I'm gonna try to convince them. Remember, I'm gonna pay you more. I have to make money. Otherwise, it's a done deal for me too. I can't pay you more and then not make any money. Do all the work behind the scenes and not making it. I'd be the most foolish investor there ever was. You got to be transparent, authentic on the phone with them. True, it's a brainstorm.
Yeah.
Good questions. Do you have any more?
No, I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, brother. Yeah, interest you would just wipe out and just try to pay more.
So whenever you go back and you're going to negotiate with these guys, if you need to come down and like pay more upfront, do you tell them everything that you just told us, or do you like leave some of that out?
Well, I'm not gonna tell them this, that I'm already cash flowing $600 to $800 with that. So that's already a deal.
Okay,
Just
so yeah, you're just trying to sweeten it.
You exactly how I was telling you earlier. Look, you guys should learn to sweeten all your fucking deals. If you can have the power of negotiation, I just said he's already letting me cash flow $600. But me being a smart investor, if he's open to letting me negotiate, why the fuck do I want to pay $60,000 more? Right? So what if I said, because he doesn't know it like that, he doesn't do the business like we do. He's not really in it. He's a one-time landlord or whatever it is, you know. He house hacked it. He gets there, he house hacks it, or whatever he does. So he's not really understanding it the way we see it. Now, if he was a savvy investor, he would be like, well, because look at it, that's a fair interest rate compared to what's today's market. And I want interest. I want to make money off of you. He has the total right to do that. As an investor, you should do that. So right now, he's already letting me cash flow 600. I could buy it, I could make it work. But I would rather go 0% and then cash flow and still pay him the agreed number, but now not pay him $215,000 for a home that I'm going to finance 135. I want to finance 135 and pay 135.
Gotcha.
Yeah, 'cause you're already giving him more than his number that he
I'm already
wanted.
giving him more than all the other people. If he really had the number they would buy, people would have accepted. That's why I always ask him, why didn't you take that number? That's a good number. Why didn't you take it? You find out they're bullshitting. Buyers are liars, right? We tend to lie. Buyers are liars, but sellers are worse.
Yep.
That's the truth.
Where's that?
Any other questions? What's up, Stan?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Hey, we have this in the chat section. We have like a value add 42 unit that we could underwrite on Friday.
Let's do it. Where at?
I got
Where is it? Where's it at, Josh?
Detroit.
Detroit, Michigan.
Yes, sir. Yeah,
Yeah, we got a realtor out there too.
I'm gonna get some rent roll or try to get some more info on it and stuff. I got a good bit of info already, but I'm gonna try to get some more for you tomorrow. That way, you know, we got as much as possible.
Okay. Just let me
They
know the
have one
time.
too. Shaq has one too. He has like a 52 unit hot bed or something like that. A nice one, 52 unit in Texas or something. I
See,
forgot.
so I mean, with these multifamily homes, even though we get the deal, I think what we need to work on too is finding like actual investors that want to lend on these deals. Because we also need a sponsor as well, right? So there's like a few elements that need to be put in place once we find a good deal, so we have it lined up. Because obviously all of us, aside from Pace, right, we could always use Pace as a sponsor. But
Yeah.
we want to use other people that have the ability to be the sponsor and the GP, aside from just like an LP on it or private lenders. So, you know, a deal's a deal regardless of what it is. But if we can't find the people that can take it down with us, then, you know, we're still stuck on the deal.
Yeah.
You know how to go about doing that?
Ask.
I mean, because I'll do it. I'm just saying, if you got the right answer, best believe in 7 days from now, I'll have those sponsors and people sitting down and saved up in my.
Yeah, it's literally the same as what we would ask for in the single family homes. It's just now pivoting to the larger multifamily space that, you know, people are kind of more hesitant on because they don't know more about it, right? And it's just educating them and letting them know like what type of preferred returns that they're going to get, or if it's just one person that's going to be able to, you know, have the ability to close it, then we can use them as well.
Got you. Yeah, okay. So maybe getting into like a multifamily Facebook or a couple of those, getting into like some other people who looked experienced by reading their posts, DMing them, and then seeing if they're open to that, which they probably are. That'd probably be my best route. So I could do that. It's no problem. So for now, I just got Gabe and Brad. Brad got some guy that at any moment can look at a deal for us too. He said, I was talking to him last night and we're talking for like 2 hours. He was talking about his trip, that he had got this huge opportunity and just locked it up. He was talking about it. And then we analyzed one of Casey's deals that we're about to draft a contract to, and then I reanalyzed Sam's deal that we're about to lock it up to. I'm coming in with a counter, which is the one I was talking about right now, the 3.5% interest. I want to offer him like 0%, but me pay him more.
Yep.
Because then I would still pay him less over 10 years if I had financed 135 for 3.5. I would rather finance 150, 170 at
Right.
0%. At 0%.
Yeah, all up front. Yeah, that's definitely a great strategy to keep in mind.
Yeah.
For sure. Also, Josh, for that property that you have in Michigan, do you know if that's rent controlled or if they're a landlord friendly state?
I don't know that. I'll find out. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
'cause
Lauren, don't
I
you
think-
have don't you got a house out there in Detroit or something? She's gone. She's already gone.
I think that's something that we have to keep in mind is that whenever we want to underwrite deals and find that out first, because when you're dealing with the non-landlord friendly states, it's kind of almost like not wasting your time, but it's really tough to get into that market. And you see how California is, right? They control all the investors. So you don't want to be in that kind of market. You want to be more of like the red states that allow you to increase the rents if you need to. You don't want to be controlled by that.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna look into that more.
Like Florida, Texas. No, Texas is a mutual state too.
Well, yeah, Texas is an NBA state, so you got to find out too.
Florida for sure, dude. Florida's fire. Atlanta's too is pretty fire.
Mhm.
Okay, I'll find out about that too.
Yeah, so let's get everybody. If you guys have multifamily, let's.
I'll see if I can just find it to the list, and then I'll just provide it to everybody on the powerhouse of like states that are and states that aren't. I don't know if that'd be helpful for everybody.
Yeah, I think that would be.
Yeah, just stick it in the file section. Let's put more templates. Let's create some more stuff. Make this more action packed, educational. Friday we're going to be putting in a multifamily underwriting session so we can get more education here. I think tomorrow I want to do live calls. So I'll post it up too, but for everybody who's listening now and everybody, I'm going to post it too. If you guys have 1, 2, 3 deals a piece that you need some help working on, maybe they're too hard or you just don't know how to pitch creative, just DM me or text me, email me that information, and tomorrow do it all live. And if you even feel comfortable and you want to call somebody else's live deals, you can too.
Awesome.
Hey, what's a good way I can source some multifamily leads without having a program like CoStar or something? Do I just draw for dollars for those two?
Yeah, you can dial for dollars. Yeah, you can dial for dollars for those. That's typically how you would get it, right? If you have somebody with access for CoStar, they can pull basically all the multifamily owners in the area, and you can just dial it that way. Obviously, finding somebody with CoStar is usually pretty who's been an investor in the business for a while, or any commercial brokers that pay for it, because it's a pretty pricey program.
I've never even heard of CoStar.
Yeah, CoStar is like one of the best commercial data services.
Okay.
If you want to run comms and analytics and any of the important stuff.
But
Yeah.
But to find their phone number, I mean, do I have to have a program like that, or can I just look it up if I draw for dollars and put it into like PropStream or something?
I believe they can scrape the addresses, and then if there might be a way to they might be able to provide like the true owners of it. I can't remember how exactly it works, but they can. I'm sure they can pull a list on an Excel spreadsheet. A lot of the times, they're going to be obviously under an LLC or a trust, so that's going to be the tougher part, right? You got to do some due diligence on how to get those.
Yeah, you really are, because like a lot of them will be like that. There'll be professional businesses that have that much money to buy multifamily. You'll get like a 1-800 number, an LLC. You call in, you'll get like front desk or something. Try to ask for the owner. They'll just put you in contact with the acquisitions team or something. So like you can even hit up like commercial agents nearby, learn how to pitch them, talk to them. I think Myron and Carolyn they actually show others in the community how to reach out to commercial brokers and how to get all the listings and stuff like that to look at and partner up with them. So
Oh, nice.
yeah.
Okay. Maybe getting on Craigslist and finding these small multifamily and just calling them like I would be a renter and just ask, is this the owner? Or see if I can find the owner that way. Just
Yeah, same way.
creative ways like that. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, for
Okay,
smaller,
I'll
like
check it out.
multifamily, like multifamily, I'm talking about like, 10 plus or whatever, but if you're looking at like a duplex, triplex, quadplex, there's a lot of regular people, a lot of people in their regular names or small LLCs that will hold them. So those are easier. But if you're talking about like big projects, then that's when it becomes more professional and it's just harder to find the actual owner.
Okay, I'll
Cool,
start
guys.
looking into that.
Cool. So tomorrow we'll get back on. If you guys have any sellers that you guys need help with, put me on. Julian, if you need a little bit of help too, we can call your guy live and we can try to work it out.
No, I'm like running through like in my head, like what I was gonna say. I was just thinking about it, but yeah, I'd definitely be down for a live call on it. So wait, basically like would I be talking to him live or like somebody else?
You would call him and say, hey, your partner or your end buyer, whatever you want to say, has some questions about this. I'd go in and I would just be transparent with him, see how we can make it make sense for both of us.
No, that'd be perfect. I definitely think we can do that. What time would that be at tomorrow?
3:00.
3 o'clock, or where are you at, Julian?
So I'm in Central Standard Time right now. So it's 6:30 my time right now.
Yeah, so it'll be 5:00 your time when we start.
Okay, that works.
That works? Okay.
Yep.
Let's do that, guys. Let's get back tomorrow. Be here at 3 p.m. Pacific or 5 p.m. Central, 6 Eastern, and we'll do like 2 hours of live seller calls. Sound good?
Sounds perfect.
Thank you, guys.
All
I'll
right,
talk to
Paul,
you guys
thank
soon.
you, man. Thank you.
Peace out.